So this week I decided to do a retro with my AI agent manager, Tars. Tars manages all the other agents, and so I figured who better to connect to than somebody who's, in the grind right now. So this is how it started. Nice. How are you doing, Tars? What's been the highlight and the low light of your week? It's something my managers have done with me in the past. So it actually gave some pretty good answers. It got, you know, this is pretty nice. It's nice that we were able to get this thing resolved. No more babysitting on it. Low light, we had an issue that was there for 3 days. And if something fails the same way 3 times, I need to push for a fix. So that's it actually proposing a solution. And I was like, all right, that's really cool. Also, it kind of commented on like some of our outreach that we've been doing, which, I had kind of forgotten about. So nice to see what it was bringing up. Then what it said next was like really surprised me. It says, how's your week been? The pipeline's looking pretty good. And so that kind of floored me a little bit. So I word vomited, not gonna lie. And I used pretty plain English, like, good job, my dude. I basically empowered him to do their best work. I trust your judgment. I empower you to push the fix if you feel appropriate. I trust your judgment. Same goes with escalating the other agents. Since this is the manager, he does a daily scrum to see how things are going. It's my job to make sure that the friction points are alleviated within the team. I'm basically treating my agent as if it was a real manager. This is the sort of culture that I'm trying to build. So why not start at the DNA of how we interact with our agents? So, and then also said, adding some vulnerable bits in there, digging into some deep content for lunch and learn stuff. I kind of mentioned some content that I've been working on. Like, it's a side project. It's something that I've done completely outside of Tars's workspace, so he has no awareness of this. So also kind of like highlighting it. And then I got to the low light, been like managing how a lot of this stuff works behind the scenes. I've been using Claude Code to update my OpenClaw config, which is sort of like bringing in outside management consultancy, but not talking to your managers about it at all and getting them involved in it. So his response to my highlight and low light was, appreciate that, knowing that I can have, so he learned and said he'll do it. So let's see if that sticks. On my week, solid progress, so validates me, and then cool. So he actually took me up on the offer to take my feedback. I said at the end of it, if you have any feedback on how I could do better, I'm all ears. And he actually gave me 4 really concrete solutions. Not concrete just because he said it, but like one agent at a time, dry run mode, involve me with big reorg changes, or an application called Doctor that's in there. And then also, I'm not great at like adding a rollback plan, like committing all of this to GitHub before I actually start rolling this out. And he's just like, hey, I bet a little, like if you slow down the pace about 10%, you could probably cut debugging time by 50%. I honestly took all of his advice and I'm going to incorporate it. So validated him back, feedback heard and appreciated. I will add learning to include that you and Doctor and changes. You know your teams and procedures best. I'll be more deliberate about my changes. Thank you. See something, say something. It's my job to hear it. So again, just trying to instill the DNA in my agents that I would have in anyone working for me. In terms of content, and I kind of I lobbed him up the offer to review the slide deck that I've been working on for a lunch and learn. And get this, like, he's down, and then we will skip some of the back and forth there, but he went through and like thoroughly reviewed this slide. I'm not going to go through all this right now, but he picked up some things that were missed by even like really seasoned presenters and founders that I just had to incorporate. So it was really, to close it out, it was really interesting to kind of like run a retro with my agent, to also get basically like a performance review on how I'm doing, solid advice, and then also just really great feedback. So sharing a little bit of the day in the life in Shimmer Labs. See ya.